Welcome back to the Mateo Priest Experience. I'm actually going to give you guys a video which I at first thought was kind of a dumb idea. 2 books that change your life, man, that sounds like everything else does. But I genuinely think this could be a really good video. I'm not going to give you like 2 random books that nobody's ever heard of, that just give you a little bit boost right now. No, I'm talking about, for me, and it changes for everybody else, but for me, the 2 books that fucking changed it for me. Changed my outlook, changed my drive, changed my mindset and my goals, my dreams, and how I approach them. It's always stuck there in your head after you read a text. Like, some of it comes back to you. And none more than this. I remember back in 6th grade, I'm actually a pretty big reader if you don't know. And in 6th grade, I read a text that was 1,200, 1,300 words. If it's 1,300, it's probably on like the lower side. And I remember reading it, and my friend next to me was like, "Hey, this motherfucker reading a dictionary." He yelled it out in the whole class, and it might have been a little embarrassing at first, but I actually thought it was pretty funny. So I laughed with him. It did not affect me. I'm not gonna lie. I thank God I wasn't like a little bitch about it. Like, oh my God, I'm getting bullied by my friend who made a funny joke, and I'm now gonna kill myself. Thank God that wasn't me, bro. But I didn't restart, like, I kind of stopped reading when I got into high school. When I started associating myself with like worse people and when I thought I was too busy to read, when I was just doing other bum shit. You know, I kind of associated myself with like worse people doing worse things. And maybe like subconsciously I didn't want to be that guy who read books. So I stopped reading. But it wasn't until I really found self-improvement again towards the later half of that year that I changed. And I remember being I remember being young, yeah. So here in our school sometimes we have these big tests at the end of the year. Especially if you're in any AP classes or advanced placement classes. These are like the higher up classes that the smarter kids take, and I took one for world history, AP world history. It was a fun class, not gonna lie. I enjoyed being in the class. And when you finish that class, when you finish the test rather, it's like a 4-hour test, 3.5, 4-hour test. And if you finish early, that's about an hour or 40 minutes. We can stare at a fucking wall, or try and sleep, or stare at your shoes, or stare at your water bottle, unless you brought a book. And I actually did bring a book because I was reading a self-help book at the time. It's not on this list, but I do recommend it. It's called Ego is the Enemy, Ryan Holiday. Great book. Fantastic read. I love the way he like formats his fucking books. I'm not gonna lie. Any book by Ryan Holiday is pretty good. And I was reading this book, and I kind of, fuck, why am I yawning so much, bro? I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Sorry about that. But I was reading this book, and at the time I was kind of like, oh shit, I finished my first like self-improvement book in my sophomore year, like kind of towards the end. And at first I was like, okay, that's a little weird. I'm kind of the only person who's reading these books. But now I'm like, oh man, I was the only motherfucker back then in my grade reading that shit. I was the only motherfucker striving for excellence. From when I had 40 minutes at the end of a test, I decided to spend that time reading a book that would benefit me, that would compound in the future and give me better results. That was an amazing fucking feeling, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was almost uncomfortable with being the only one. Now, I fucking thrive in it, I'm not gonna lie. And part of that is thanks to this book. Now, that might be a little bit of a, you know what I realized? I don't have my light on this whole time. Fuck it, I'm still gonna upload this. Well, we make mistakes, you learn from them. The book, you might have seen a little bit, that I'm gonna recommend you is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. An absolute fucking blast. It was so good. I gave my copy to my brother when he went to college. And now I got this. Now I got another copy, and some of the pages fall out. But you know what? I'm still fucking reading it. I've read this book like two or three times already, and I read it last summer. No, 2 summers ago. Shit, it was 2 summers ago. Oh hell yeah! 2 summers ago I read it, and I read this back like 2 or 3 times. It's a fantastic. Look, if you're looking for a book, if you're looking for a way to separate yourself from 90% of people, everybody throws up these fucking titles on YouTube. How to be better than 90% of people. How to separate yourself. The truth is, a bunch of fucking shit is gonna do it. You could literally do, you could do 30 push-ups today and do better than 90% of people, because they don't even do that. You could eat healthy today. You could literally eat healthy and beat 90% of men. It's fucking easy. And if you read this book, you absolutely will. You will. This is the kind of book where you wake up at 3 a.m. and you go for a fucking run after you're done reading it. This is the kind of fuck you, I'm changing my life kind of book. So if you finish this book, just by effect of reading it and understanding what he's saying and the fucking being influenced by him, are you going to change and do better? Abso-fucking-lutely. But you know what else? Just by reading this book, you are going to beat the other motherfuckers who have already beat the 90%. The guys who hadn't finished this book. When I read this book, it was the greatest fucking advantage I had for a few months. Because not a lot of other people were reading this, I knew. A lot of people that I was close with, that also were into books. A lot of people that I saw online, they didn't know about this. One of my favorite YouTubers right now, everybody knows him in this self-improvement space. He's like the face of it right now. Hamza. Now, when I first read this book, I literally fucking thought it was such an advantage. I went to his book list, because he used to have one. I don't know if he still does, a book list where he has a bunch of like books saved, and he's like, oh, you guys should read these books because they've changed my life. And this Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins was not there. And I was fucking whooping with excitement and fucking glee and mirth and whatever the fuck else synonyms for happiness are. Because it's such a fucking advantage. Out of any book, if you could read one book to beat anybody else, it is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And guess what the second book is? I haven't even finished this book yet. I haven't even started reading it, but I know it's gonna be fucking amazing. Never finished. David Goggins. I did not know this bitch existed until like 2 weeks ago when my friend told me about it, and it arrived not that long ago. I have not read it, but I'm gonna probably read it today. I'm not gonna lie, because I fucking love this. I fucking love it. He makes good books, and he makes the most richly packed stories of information. There's just like just nuggets of information. If there's a book that has one good line or one solid piece of nugget of information, it's worth to hang up on a wall. Now, when it has one every goddamn page, that shit should be fucking framed and put on a wall. Goggins has given you, for like not even $20, the greatest advantage you could have in your day. And it's only like a little over 300 pages. Not enough pages to my life. This shit is life changing. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I want to read this again. Look, if you're obsessed about being better than other people around you, if you're competitive like that, or if at any time in your day do you just want to be mentally stronger, or if you're just in the interest of changing your life for the better, going through that big fucking change, whether it's one big change right now and you never go back again, or the 1% every single day you get better, getting better by 1% every day. This book does all of that for you. If you did one of those things right now, you would beat 90% of the population, plus an extra 2 or 3%, maybe 4%. And if you did all of those things, you'd probably beat another 95, 96%. And I'm saying 95, you know how it gets smaller and smaller as you go because it gets smaller to beat. Beating 90% of people is easy. Beating the next 8% is way fucking harder. Beating the last 2 to 1%, beating the last 1% is insanely hard. 2% is very fucking hard. That I think if you follow this book, you would beat 98%. And then it's just up to you to go even further and beat those last 97, 98, 93%, 99%, 100%. That's how fucking good this book is. I'm saying this dead ass. Like, dead ass. Read this book, follow it, you're gonna beat 97% of people. Minimum. Minimum. If you really, really strive, like, you could probably beat 98% of people every day. I hate being like, oh, read this to beat 90% of people, because everybody fucking does that. But in this situation, it just fucking works. To quote Todd Howard, it just works. Wow, my shoulder look fucking bust right now. God damn. Alright, well, have a good one. Remember that those who never do will never know. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace, fuckers.